Holland is nice. You ever been? It is nice. You've been there? It is nice. Good. Okay, so how to fix discipline? And fixing discipline, it's not about becoming a robot or not having any feelings. That's not what it's about. Fixing your discipline is not about just having going through situation where you don't feel no pain or you it's about it's not about like you don't have a life itself, but it's more about that you're taking control of your life and taking charge of what you are doing, what you want to do. And it's about also building systems. And a lot of the reason why people fail is because they don't have no system in their lives, meaning constant habits that you create that become somewhat second nature, that you don't really have to think about doing the same thing that you need to do, like for example preparation. If you have to go to work, school, there are certain habits that you can put into place when you have to study, or when you have to basically get to work. There are All of our lives are based on habits. And the first thing that you're gonna if you take this from here right now, you can basically know understand how to make yourself become more disciplined. And the way that you do that is by focusing on making things a habit. But again, there are more nuance to it. It's more also about a mindset, because most people fail because they only rely on motivation or willpower, or they rely on just a future source of of empowerment, or future source of discipline. Or sometimes some people don't have the discipline because they don't know why they are doing what they are doing. They just live in life, and sometimes they're just doing everything that what everybody else is doing. But it can be said that living life, when you live in your life, the more purpose you live with more purpose, and the more that you are feeling that you are doing something meaningful, it gives you a form of discipline as well. Nice to talk to. Thank you. So it gives you more discipline as well, because you know what you are doing, or know what you are going after. And that gives you discipline. For some people it can be forced, it can be learned. And for some people it can be a situation where you are forced to be disciplined. But the type of discipline I'm talking about is when you choose it, or you can design it. You design your own way of discipline. And and the first phase of being more disciplined is your mental reset. You have to know the why. If you have any question, I'm ready to answer them now. Okay. Right now is not a good time. So we have to know the why. So the why is the why is what's the purpose, the reason why you are doing something, or what is the greater goal that you're trying to achieve. What is the desire that is inside of you that you are seeking to fulfill? Because a lot of the time we can find ourselves just doing things because that's what our parents told us to do, that's what everybody else is doing, or that's what society is expecting of us. Or you just don't know what else to do. You just say, okay, let me just do something in order to not be called as being lazy, or just not to be seen as being unproductive or undisciplined. So you just decide to do something. But one thing is for sure is that, to understand, sometimes if you find yourself being undisciplined, is because there's not a strong, so it's either, there can be many reasons, but one of the reasons could be is that there's not a strong enough pull, not a strong enough pull that is actually helping you to become more disciplined. Because when you have something that is pulling you, like your strong why you get up in the morning, or why you want to do this, why you want to spend your life doing whatever that you want to do daily or in a weekly basis, then it gives you that situation, or that purpose give you a reason to wanting to get out of bed, or it gives you mental energy. It gives you like this hyper energy, hyper focus state, and hyper like pleasure, and just simply doing it. So you want to you want to separate also your identity with your action. Because some people can be, as human beings, sometimes we don't want, not sometimes, but most of the time, we don't want nobody to be talking down on us. We don't want nobody to be pointing fingers and making us feel bad. But one thing is for sure, although we don't like it, we don't want nobody to be, disrespecting us, talking down on us, or undermining us. But sometimes we tend to do it to our own self. Sometimes you might even call yourself lazy, or say that you are undisciplined. Or it could be other ways that you are subtly undermining yourself. So you have to really try to reframe these ideas, reframe these, to understand why is it, reset your mind to understand why is it that I feel this way about myself, or why am I so hyper critical about my performance. So because one thing is for sure, if you are breaking down your mind, some people might say, okay, well, I'm just being hard on myself, I'm being very critical of myself. But true, in some cases, I'm not saying being critical, being hard on yourself is not helpful, but is the how you do it. If you are doing it with a negative connotation, or into using a negative way of doing it, then your mind eventually is gonna start to believe you, and it's gonna become like you are sliding down a mountain and then expect to be going back up. So it is something that is very subtle that you have to really understand. So Silver, I ask you, I think, what was the question that I asked you? The question that I asked you, Silver, because since you are a criminology psychologist, and the question that I ask you is that how do you separate, you have been dealing with some people who has done some, heinous crime, like very dirty, like just inhumane stuff. How do you separate yourself, meaning your own conscience and your own conscience from what they do, what they did, and find a way to basically not be judgmental towards your clients? So the second thing that you want to do is, after you know that you have reset your mind when it comes to discipline, you understand why, and the why is the strong purpose, the strong thing that you're actually trying to accomplish, or what is pulling you, the reason that makes you, that gives you energy. Because a lot of the time, we are doing certain things because, again, we just doing things because we just want to fill our time up. So we just say, okay, well, everybody is doing something, I better just do something as well. But I believe all of us were created and made to do one thing, or multiple of things, but there's one thing that you're supposed to be so great at. There's one thing that you're supposed to be, all of you guys are masters in your own way, but there is one thing that you're supposed to be able to master, and that thing should be your why, which means your purpose, something that gives you the best feeling ever when you do it, and that just want to make you expand it or build on it, whatever that you decide to do. So when you define your why, also you have to understand that there are pain and pleasure within your why. So life is just like that. We can put it positive and negative, but we can also look at it as pain and pleasure. And when you understand pain and pleasure, is to understand that sometimes you're gonna have to probably go sleepless night, or you probably just maybe not gonna feel like doing it. And all of these emotions or these physical, you're still searching. What? Okay, you say still searching for your purpose, I believe. So when all of these things that are holding you back, of it can be mental, it can be emotional, it can be physical, it can be, these are the painful part when it comes to when you know your why. Because to have a why is to understand that the why it has two sides to it. It's like night and day. It has the pleasure part, but it also have the pain part. And discipline is easier when the pain is not going through. When the discipline is easier when the pain is something that you can endure to. It's something that you can still have the pain, but you can still push through it. And a lot of the time, there are certain pains that we can basically not avoid, but there are other pains that we can actually avoid. And our mindset has to be a mindset of trying to be better, and not a mindset of avoidance. Good evening. Try to make yourself as much as possible to wanting to explore, to wanting to be brutally honest with yourself. And I do understand sometimes being brutally honest with yourself can mean that you are being negative, but again, there are different ways that you can reframe yourself or be critical of yourself without being negative on yourself. And sometimes some people, I don't know if you guys do that, but it is something that we are at this time with AI, and technology, everything that we are doing right now is mostly online. I don't know when was the last time that you guys, maybe some of you guys might do it. When was the last time that you actually write something? And I don't know for you guys, but I think this is my theory. One day in the future, handwriting would be something of the past. It wouldn't exist anymore. And and but the thing is, writing down and creating, it also create the physical, it also create the goal that you actually want to achieve. It also put it in front of you and in a 2D, environment. So that gives you a way to actually attract what it is that you want. And but the thing is, you have to really full-heartedly believe it. You have to see it in your mind. You have to also feel it. And that's something that you have to also try to rehearse as much as possible. And that's gonna be helpful. But again, writing down your goals and taping it to somewhere that you're gonna be seeing every day, because what you see is gonna constantly be something that you can rehearse in your mind. Some people will write down their goals and they'll put it on the book and they wouldn't revisit it. But again, doing this by writing it somewhere and post it somewhere that you can see it, or a vision board, that helps you to stay motivated, that helps you to stay disciplined, because this is your target and this is what you are going towards, and this is what's gonna be helpful to you. Fortunately, I work on preparing for the expertise for legal proceeding. Okay. You said you have to try to stay post professional. It's not always possible. Yeah. Yeah, it's not always possible, yeah. But you have to try it. True. Hmm. Yeah, it's a tough thing. We have to always try our best. Like I told you guys, when it comes to become more disciplined, it's about creating habits. And the way that you create habits is by having a system, not just goals. Because everybody can have goals. One thing is for sure, it's we are in the second month of the year 2026, February. And almost every one of us had goals for New Year's resolution goal. How many people actually, went through and focused on actually working on the New Year's goal? So your goal, everyone can have goals, but not everyone have the ability or has taken the steps that are necessary to actually go further to accomplish their goals. So which mean goals are normal, but it can be said to be just imagination or your desires playing tricks on you. But nothing is a goal until you create a system out of it, and that means when you have a goal, automatically you're trying to solve a problem in your life. But also you need to know it's not just about the destination, it's about the process along the way of the destination. It's about the the stops and throughout the pain, throughout the pleasure, and everything that are involved to create a system. You have to also know, okay, when you want to achieve your goal, if you know the purpose or whatever situation that you want to be more disciplined at, if you know what that situation is, you have to be ready to invest in the things that are going to be painful, and also or learn to manage the things that are going to be painful, and also invest in the things that are going to be pleasurable. Because, or it could mean, the painful part could mean just simply that you're going to have to put some things aside, that you're going to have to remove certain things out of your agenda, out of your daily to-do list, because there are certain times you can add activities to your life, and so other times you just need to remove activities that you really find, okay, that are not really important or necessary to be helping you to prioritize your discipline. Hi. So now, when you have a system, that puts you in a better state of becoming a winner, or putting you in a better state and actually achieving the things that you want to achieve. And another situation that is important as well is that, like I said, we don't like when people are talking down on us, but there are certain environment we might have to put up with that, or a certain environment that we probably have to deal with this, meaning it is key to take charge or take control of your environment. It's not enough to say that yes, I'm independent, but also you have to be able to take charge of your environment to create it. And I'm not talking about just your home environment, because that can be quite easily done. But sometimes also when you think about in your environment, your home, but you have to also keep that in order. Meaning discipline, a lot of the time you have to think about discipline like this. The way that you do one thing is the way that you're gonna do a lot of things. And sometimes discipline doesn't mean that you're gonna be perfect all the time, or you're gonna be, just once like an even keel is gonna be like this. Sometimes you're gonna have ups and downs, but the fact of the matter is discipline means that you still go on and do it regardless. Sometimes you might not feel like it, sometimes you might just don't want to do it, but it's about just doing it regardless. So environment is very important, because the environment can either boost your energy or it can take away from your energy. This is what is important, because the energy is not only coming from you yourself, but it's also coming from where you are in terms of your environment. And we have to also try to reduce friction within our habits. So what does that mean? Yeah, if somebody, let's say for example, Rina, you were saying you want to be more disciplined when it comes to your sleep, and so basically you want to be able to sleep at least even more. Yeah, so one way that you can put less friction into your habit is to remove less friction into your habit is to try to think about, okay, how many hours would you like to get to sleep, on these days that you are not able to sleep as much as you would like to. Hello. So think about that. How many hours would you like to sleep? And what are the things that you do before you go to sleep? So that's one thing that could help you out. So to try to reduce certain friction, eliminate the things that you don't need when it comes to, I'm doing good, NJ. When it comes to create the least amount of friction towards, read a book before sleeping and get 7 hours. Read a book, yeah, that could be useful. Yeah, that's like yeah, but if you're gonna read a book, I do understand. If you're gonna read a book, then it's best that you read. What sort of book are you talking about? On your phone or something? Or habits are mostly four things. Okay, what are they? Get to 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Yeah, 7 to 9 hours is not always, there's no one. I do understand that 7 to 9 hours is like the rule, it's like the go-to. But for some people, a physical book, okay, a physical book is useful. For some people, the thing is, yeah, when you're gonna read a physical book, the one thing I want to say is like, yeah, try to have at least in your room, you don't have white lights. These fluorescent lights, these can keep you up. It's best to have like dark, like for me, this light is gonna help. It's gonna like trick my mind to think, okay, I need to stay up a bit longer. So it's best to have like dimmer lights when you're reading a book, or like a nightstand light that can just basically very dim. So that can also help you to fall asleep much quicker. And when like I was saying about the 7 to 9 hours of sleep, that's a rule of thumb, but that's not for everybody. Some people requires 4. There are people who can only use 4 hours of sleep. Some people 2 hours of sleep, but that's not the majority. But there are also people who can use 6 hours. But the key here is to find out, okay, the way that you can know how many hours of sleep that you actually need is to, first thing first, is to listen to what your body is telling you, and how your body is operating, meaning how your brain is actually, operating. If you find it very difficult for you to focus, even sometimes when you have you are caffeinated, then it is good to think that it is good to think that, okay, well, then maybe I need a bit less or more sleep. You need to read it. Read what? Atomic Habit is the best book for habits. Yeah, Super Life. I need to read it. I'm good with 5 hours. The rest is luxury. Yeah, good with 5 hours, you see? The rest. Okay. You say I need to read it. I need to read what exactly? Um, you're talking about K craving response and reward. K I see Q U E craving response and reward. Uh, yeah, you making this. One thing is for sure, we have to be. I like the fact that there are so much different perspectives when it comes to a certain topic, or I like the fact that there's variety of it. But one thing about it is that when there are so much variety, we get to a point where we become over analyzers. We instead of actually doing the act or putting forth the action, we spend more time analyzing the action itself. I don't know if you guys understand what I mean. But because I do understand you say this is the best book about creating new habits. I wouldn't say there's any best book of creating habits. The best book of creating habits, or the best I would say, is the one that just resonate with you, that makes you create a habit. What might work for you might not work for another person. There is no best. Yeah. So I mean, there is a best for you because it works for you. It's not the book, but it's a system. Yeah, it's a system. What system that works for you? Because some system doesn't work. Some systems can work for, let's say, for example, say, Rose said she needs 5 hours, and anything else more than that is is a luxury. But for some people, they need 7, 8, or even more. So that's what works for her specifically, and it's best that you know what is working for you. It's all about a system, or it's all about a habit. And when it comes to your system, when you have your habit, you want to actually eliminate as much distraction or friction. Meaning, if, let's say, for example, when I ready to start the show and start my stream, there's a certain level different of system that comes with it, preparation. And you always have to think about, okay, what system, whatever that you want to be disciplined at, how can you turn it into a system? How can you turn it into a habit? And how can you remove everything that you don't need, that is not gonna be helping you and towards what you want to accomplish. So if for example, let me give you guys an example. Let's say I'm gonna start my stream, and then what could be an example? Yeah, so let's say I get a phone call. If I can get a phone call, but one thing is for sure, I hope I didn't. Well, one thing is for sure is that it'll be best I put my phone on do not disturb. So that's one system that becomes it doesn't become a friction. It's like I do the preparation, everything, it should be ready. But there are times that you could be, like I said, discipline is not a one line thing. So it's like I said in the very beginning, it's not about being a robot. Even robots have downtimes that they need to go through in order to repair, maintenance, and all of that. So nothing is perfect. Do not search for perfection. When you think about habit or discipline, you should think about, okay, this is what I do. This is what I do on a daily basis, or for how many times that you want to do it, and this is something that you can just basically keep doing. Goals provide direction, but system determine your progress. Okay, so guys, let's get to 3K likes. Come on, make a desired behavior as easy as possible. I think that's what I did, because when you remove the friction or the barriers, then it makes your life much easier. So the next thing is that increase friction for bad habit, because not only that, thank you guys, not only that you want to remove the friction or the barriers for good habits, but you also want to we all have some form of bad habits that we want to remove from our life. We want to make it we want to create a barrier. We want to move the friction to the bad habits. So let's say, for example, if you're trying to fall asleep, or you want to go to sleep earlier, then for sure, okay, this is the time I want to go to sleep. and what are the things that I would go that I would do in order that would keep me up at night, or just keep me up from falling asleep. It could be what we all almost all of us do, which is scrolling through your phone. If you scroll into social media, then you want to make this as hard as hard as possible. So what the thing that you could do maybe is you could probably replace scrolling through social media for a certain time, or what you could do also, you could maybe change. What else? What else can you do if you're not trying to scroll to social media? Because a lot of the time, most people will use their phones right now as an alarm system. So it is. What else can you do? Because the first thing that you could do is basically don't scroll, because if you find it very difficult scrolling, if you find it very difficult, and just keep in mind also that scrolling to your social media, it is very an addictive behavior. So you might not want to do it. You might really want to try to rely on your willpower and your discipline. But sometimes, social media, when you are scrolling, it is created to basically make us more addictive. So to trick your willpower. So the best thing to do is to have a time that you wouldn't be scrolling to your social media. That's the best thing. Because if you're gonna give yourself the option to keep scrolling, then your discipline is gonna be played with. So let's say, for example, watch too much. If you find that you watch too much TV, then you could unplug your TV or your remote, or what you can do, there's these automatic switch that you could do, that you could buy, which at a certain time it can turn off your television automatically. That's one thing that you could do if you want to stop watching television. Or you can put a specific day of the month that of the week that you'll watch television or your series. So let's say, for example, for me, it would be like a Saturday, yeah, that I'll watch something that I want, a movie or something that I want to watch. Or it could be even a late night, you know. So that's how you could do it. So let's say phone addiction. You can put a certain time that you wouldn't be going on your phone. Try to replace the phone. My problem is TikTok. Okay, so you're scrolling through it, or you are using it for conversation. What is your reason for using TikTok? Then you want to replace that. You want to replace it with something, because one thing is for sure, habits or something, system are things that we just need to replace. We all have an addictive behavior or addictive personalities within us. But the thing is that we can make it work for us, or you can let it work you out scrolling. All right, then yeah, I would say the best thing is that try if you're gonna I would assume you can replace the TV with an aquarium. Yeah, well, how many people? Yeah, you can replace the TV, but how many people would want to replace the TV? Though that's a good point. That's like, sheesh, that's that's tough for those, but that's a good one. Yeah, because if how long would you want to be watching an aquarium? So the scrolling part, one thing that you could do is that if you're gonna put your alarm on your telephone, then you just need to have your phone with you by your bedside, if that's what you're gonna do. Or I don't know if you if you have an alarm clock, but alarm clock would be better, and you can leave your phone elsewhere, away from you. Not even in the living room, because probably you might think, okay, let's say if there's an emergency, then you might wanna use your phone. Or you can use this moment. You can use the moment when you're gonna scroll. You can try to find something that you would like to do, NJ. Find something that you would like to do. It could be reading. It could be, I don't know, what would you like to do, but it could be meditation. It could be writing in your diary, or going through your day. Find out how successful were your day was. or plan for your day before, or the night before. So there's a lot of things that you could do. But if you're gonna be scrolling can just keep you up over and over and over again, because these are psychological tools that they use when it comes to your social media to make it very much addictive as possible, to keep you on this platform as long as possible. I did any Zeus me. I love it. You will watch the fishes do their thing for hours. Wait, Silver. So an aquarium doesn't. You can watch the fishes in an aquarium just basically keep moving. So Rose, are you saying that you, instead of a television, you have an aquarium at your home? Is that what you're saying? So the phone addiction, or you can put your phone in a lock box. You can lock it away from yourself. Or, well, the best thing, really, and you can stare at the fishes for hours. But the thing is, when you are staring at the fishes, your mind still get to work, right? You can still, it's not distracting you. It's not it. It's a. It can be distracting, but do you feel that even though it's distracting, but it can be somewhat of therapeutic sort of distraction as well? Sit for a half an hour a day doing nothing, not thinking nothing. Well, how many people can do that, Beta? Not many people can actually do that. Okay, eating junk food. The best way if you don't want to eat junk food is to go at least 3 days without buying junk food. Try your best. That's it. 2, 3 days, and then very therapeutic. True. 2, 3 days, and then try to basically remove all the advertisement, or remove your, if you normally have a route that you take when you go to the fast food stores, or if there's an app, the app that you use to order your food, hide it. One thing is for sure is that when you're trying to be disciplined, sometimes you have to remove the things that you don't want to lose your discipline or on. Remove them out of your sight. Don't make it very hard for yourself to actually get these things that you will see that is a distraction. Try your best to make it very difficult for you to achieve them. No alcohol before bed either. No alcohol before bed. Keep up, yeah. Keep you up, yeah. Alcohol before bed, it keeps you up, and it make your sleep quality, yeah, terrible. Food should be given energy. With junk food, junk food takes away your energy, and and not only that, it diminishes your willpower, and it also diminishes your discipline. Because also we have to understand, sometimes when it comes to discipline, is that let's say for example junk food, it can be that we just say, okay, if you decided that you're not going to eat junk food, it can be that you are so disciplined in not eating junk food, but the moment that you ate junk food, then other things you're like, okay, well, I might as well drink a bit, a little drink, have a little drink later before I go to bed, and then I might, it can create a domino effect of basically doing the things that you don't want to do, basically breaking away your discipline. So this is why in a lot of different religions they say to be mindful of sin, because once you open a door when it comes to sin, or to the door of what goes against your discipline, then it can create a domino effect. So this is why if you find yourself get off your discipline on one thing, be mindful. Just be mindful, forgive yourself, allow yourself to make mistake, but get back to it. Realize from that very moment that, okay, well, that's not what I wanted, but I can do better next time. Lack of magnesium also influence sleep. Yes, true. Magnesium is not only for sleep, but it's also for your muscles, and for a lot of for your brain processes as well. Habits striking. Oh, okay. Yeah. And sometimes when it comes to discipline, sometimes you might have moments that we don't feel like doing something. And this is normal. Sometimes you might not feel like, okay, you have something planned, but you're not in the mood, you don't feel like it, your energy is drained. or whatever that's holding you back, or whatever that's the gap between you, that's the gap here between you and the action that you need to take. Because what it comes down to is, life is always about action. So, or inaction, it depends what it is as well. But the gap is within 20 seconds. If you don't feel like doing something that can help you to stay disciplined, within 20 seconds is just to try to do it anyway. Once you try to do it anyway, then your mind is gonna automatically basically find a way to keep you doing these things. And this is it. Once you try it and you have 30 seconds to just stick to it, and then all of a sudden you're just gonna find yourself just doing it. But again, you have to basically just try it. Allow yourself to just try it for at least 20 seconds, and so you can build a habit. Remember, a habit is something that you do all the time. And you have to think about actionable. It also work. You have to also think about actionable framework, which is the what. You have to know the what. So, meaning, what is it exactly that you want to achieve? And sometimes you might not really feel like it again. You have to try your best to at least have that 20 seconds of to know, okay, what is it that I want to do, and just start doing it anyways. And this is how you get to do it. Sometimes you have to, it could be a situation that you're not so organized. Sometimes you just have to block times. You have to use your calendar to block the things that you don't want to be an interference or a distraction towards your discipline or towards the things that you want to do at that moment. And eat the fog, because sometimes you might have brain fog, and you have to do your best. And again, we are talking about sleep. Sometimes brain fog is due because whatever that you want to do is not so exciting for you, or is not so pulling you. But that means either you need to get more sleep, or you need to allow yourself to just do it anyway. And that's a moment that you can rely on your willpower. Willpower is a short fuse, it's shortly lived. So you have to try your best to to just keep doing it. Manage your failures, because there are sometimes you would miss. There are sometimes you would basically not achieve what you want to achieve. But again, you have to learn to forgive yourself. And what I mean by forgiving yourself doesn't mean that you end up forgiving yourself, and then you go into the spiral of keep forgiving yourself or keep doing the wrong thing. You keep going to a downward spiral. The moment that you realize that you have done it once, forgive yourself, and then try your best to adapt or create a new system, because probably the system that you have had or you are using didn't work. Then you need to find something that is new. And that's how it can basically help you to become more efficient as well. Because guilt and shame, these are the things that drain your energy. You don't need to be draining your energy. You need to be flourishing your energy, or giving your energy what it needs to actually, be there for you when you need it. And forgive yourself again when you are procrastinating. Forgive yourself for the times that you are unable to do the things that you want to do 100%. It's a process. Let me see. Whatever happens, always get back on the horse. Yes, whatever happens, just always get back. And that's how you build character, and that's how you build a habit of discipline. If a prof does it also when he don't feel like it. Yeah, true. A professional does it also when he doesn't feel like it. So if you want to be a professional, that means you have to do it when you don't feel like it. That's what it is. And track your streak, because just like you will have times that you probably didn't operate high, probably didn't operate the way your day didn't went the way that you wanted it to go. And again, when that happens, you forgive yourself, but then you either regroup, or you find ways to keep going. So sometimes you have to track your streak. Basically, when you have had times that you have been doing whichever habit that you've been consistent with it, reassure yourself. Find a way that you can be able to be satisfied with yourself. Find a way that you can probably tweak it to be even more disciplined, and that's how, when you have a moment that you are able to create this habit and you feel it, that it's becoming so much of you that you don't really have to force yourself to do it, that your body, your mind, your emotions already know what it needs to do, then that's when you know, okay, well, at this point, it's it's this is where I'm trying to get you guys to be. And you only compete with the version of you, yeah, only compete, yes, exactly, compete with, yeah, learn to understand yourself, and learn to be your the person that's gonna motivate yourself as well. And so in summary is reframe. Think about, I'm building a skill when it comes to discipline. Discipline is a skill. Think of it like that. You think of it like that. You are building a skill. 1% better every day. True. And make good habits easy, bad habits hard. That's how you do it. And read small, focus on small wins, and use systems like schedule to put in your agenda, and forgive yourself if you miss a day. Try to your best to get back and not allow yourself to miss 2 days in a row. If you miss one day, that means, okay, you're gonna have to try to find a way that you can, okay, think about, okay, what happened in that day, why did you miss that day, and how can you make it that you don't miss a day again. So that's what it's about. So let me see, it's nearly Ramadan, and that's the only that gives me discipline. So, oh, Ramadan give you discipline, is that what you mean? Okay, that's good. When Ramadan start? Tomorrow? When, yeah, Mimi, when does Ramadan start? Let me see. What else is there? Oh, really? So it gives you like a moment of reset, I believe. I would say that. A good reset moment. Yeah. Ramadan start tomorrow, really? Okay. Ramadan start. Oh, yeah. Okay. Whoa. Tomorrow, 17th. And it ends in 19 March. Okay. Are you ready for it? Mimi. Am I gonna see? Are you ready? I don't know if you're gonna. Are you ready? Better. You hope so. I don't know. Are you gonna put the, how you call it? Yeah. Are you gonna be able to live without sin? 1 month? Well, it's not. Yeah, it's 1 month and 2 days. What about you, Beta? Are you gonna be ready to live without sin? To only be fasting? Sheesh. Pampers. Inshallah. Okay. Mimi, you don't know. Yeah, you just hope so. Well, I think you can do it, Mimi. You've done that before, so it's uh it's that time again. What's up, Sabi? Let's see. Today is, what is today? Restoration of State Lithuania. You also joining? No. Nope. Family Day. Today is Family Day. Scott, is there something that you're looking for, Scott? Sure. You think I should join Beta? Yeah. For me, although I like it, but it's easy this year because of sunset. Oh yeah, true. This year is easier. It's not in the summertime. Sunset will be at 11, I mean 5 in the evening. Yes. It's gonna be very short. Yeah. Although I like the idea of Ramadan, but for me, when I do my fasting, I just do it, yeah. Clear mental clarity. So I'll be fine. Yeah. So this year is way better. So it's a shorter period of time of fasting. Anatolia. Let me see. Oh, what is today? I prefer to fast in a different way. Presidents. Oh, today is, well, that's for Today is President's Day. Carnival started somewhere. How do fast? How do fast? I think you're asking how do I fast? Daily. Excuse me. Intermittent fasting. Wisdom, what's up is wisdom, but we fast with our eyes, mouth, and brain. Okay, well, I don't know. For me, I don't know about the mouth and the eyes part. I mean, yeah, I know about the mouth, but I don't know about the eyes and the brain part. Because I be using my imagination and yeah, I be seeing things. Mimi, are you gonna be able to do that with your eyes, mouth, and brain? Mimi, I don't know. You're a beta. Are you gonna be able to do that? No. For me, it's mouth and stomach. Don't look at things you doesn't supposed to. Yeah, well, well, don't gossip. Well, okay, well, the gossip part, I got that on the lock. I don't gossip. But let me see. When it comes to not look, don't look. Well, that part, sheesh. So does that mean, Mimi, are you gonna be off social media for a moment? Is that what it means? No social media. Oh, Carnival started for Venezuela, Uruguay. Oh, it's the Spanish one. Shove Monday. The eyes means I won't be able to go to gym to look off this mob bodybuilder. Sheesh, you won't be feasting your eyes. Yeah. Sheesh. Dang. No, I get it. I get it. You won't be able to feast your eyes, huh? Well, it's just for 1 month. But yeah, I get it. It's just for 1 month. I read the Quran. Oh yeah. Are you gonna be reading the Quran, Ramadan? You started, Muhammad? Um, Mimi, are you reading the Quran? Let's see.